Yeah.
Best regards, tutor and partners. Today we're going to do the task 2 magazine. According to the activity, we're going to start the Skype meeting. In this Skype meeting, we must talk about this make a discussion about the 9/11 and answer the questions that our tutor gave us in the forum. That questions, the first one is, could the U.S. Air Force have prevented the attacks? Yes. Okay. Let's start with our partner, Mario.
All right. All right. So before the start, I just want to say good evening to everyone. And okay, so my answer to this question is yes, definitely. And the reason why I say that is because, as we all know, the United States has been always one of the most powerful countries in the world. I mean, not only in terms of technology, but in other fields. So it makes us think that they have enough technology to face this kind of events, such as the 9/11 incidents and that kind of things. So actually, something that really caught my attention was the fact that specifically they were a commercial aircraft flying around for about an hour without even being intercepted. So how is that possible that one of the most prepared air force in the world could allow that situation when everybody knows that they do have radars with high technology that are capable or able to identify possible threats, either if it's coming from an internal or external threats? So my question is how they didn't respond as they normally do within the 10 minutes to activate their defense. So that's kind of weird because that they supposedly they were doing some military exercises in another part of the country, and when they were informed, it seems it was too late or something like that because there was a misunderstanding in the commands and they cannot respond to that setback. So that's the reason why I say yes, it could be prevented absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mario. Your evidence is very right with the video. So let's continue with Judith. What do you think, Judith, about it?
Hi everyone. Okay, I think so. Yes, the US Air Force could prevent the attacks because they were professional in operation the radars for detecting the airplanes. Airplanes. Immediately, they should inform the president that the fact was curious, and this must be revised. Also, they must inform others entities. For example, in the video, mentioned that after September 11, Republican Congressman Kurt Weldon denounced the present knowledge of information on the upcoming attacks. Chief of Naval Intelligence in Washington caption Halland recognized the messages plans for a bombing raid. Rowley discovered information that could have led to uncover the September 11. As a result, this is an evidence of attack.
I see, Judith. Very good. Another point of view. Very good. So continue with Rafael. Please tell us.
Okay, Jimmy, thanks. Uh, in base of the investigation and the video for the established activity, personally, I think that for the U.S. Air Force was possible to prevent that attack. Having in mind that this organization is the most powerful in the world and it has a good military equipment. That equipment is located in very strategical places of the country. The vice president, Dick Cheney, ordered the force to don't detect the attack. The government did know about the kidnapping 32 minutes before it happens, and that period of time is enough to intercept and prevent the act.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Rafael. And continue with Alison. Please, your answer about it.
I say yes, because first, they were prevented about a possible Al Qaeda attack. And second, if they had been able to find some important generals that day, the permits would have been accepted in less time. And if Everhard had suspended all wargame jets to their base, the Air Force could have avoided some of these attacks.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. Now it's my turn. I'm studying now too. So I will say yes. The U.S. Air Force could have prevented the attack because in this time were so much evidence about the possible attack. Um, because all the terrorist attack before. Um, something like they stealing an airplane. And these had been reported 20 minutes before, and the plane was flying 1 hour. So how is not possible to prevent? Only technically on a country on a first world country is impossible. They, so they could have prevented attack with the airport excuse. So let's continue with this next question. Were the Twin Towers deliberately demolished by explosives?
Sorry, Jimmy. I think that you forgot to somebody. You forgot to mention the answer of Ellison.
What?
Ellison, please give your answer to the question. What do you think about that?
I did it.
Okay, I think that could be it, because there are so many witnesses that remember and had recorders that permit listen that during the collapse there was three explosions in the lobby and the seventh floor and another.
Okay. Mario, can you your point of view, please?
All right. So, do I have to answer the second question? Is that correct? Yes. All right. So, actually, I gotta say this is a really tough question, and the reason why I say that is because there is a lot of versions out there, and even today we don't know exactly the truth. But I would say, according to the documentary and the version of many people, that there were several explosions before and during the incident. So one way or another, that led us to think that there were a controlled demolition that was the really cause of the fall of that buildings. And I say that because it's kind of weird to think that just for the way the airplane hit the top of the towers, that way they could bring them down the way they fell. So it also makes me think that it was a really planned event.
Thank you so much, Mario. Rafael, can you tell us, please?
Thanks. I think in base to different theories, it was a controlled demolition. In the documental, it's possible to watch the lights before the crash of the planes in the Twin Towers. The lights were the explosive activated into the buildings. And in some other videos, we can listen to sounds. The sounds of explosions before of the crash of the planes in the towers. So I can say that it was all a controlled demolition.
Thank you, Rafael. Now, Judith, it's your turn. Please tell us.
Okay, I think so. I think so. Yes, because the twin towers were demolished by explosives. The video clearly shows us as those towers were destroyed with hard explosives. Consequently, some professionals in the explosive and demolition tower prevent this fact. Even the videos and images of the attacks they were evidence for showing and rectifying how they were deliberately demolished by explosives. Also, many witnesses listened to noises on the floors of the building. Therefore, those witnesses listened to the bombs at the moment when the twin towers were demolished. Additionally, staff that helped in the emergency to listen to the bombs. Also, in the video, you could watch and listen to news reports where obviously that is listening to the bombs.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Um, I think it's my turn. So, if you analyze the arguments in the documentary, yes, in the video we can see how the building fell just like a controlled demolition. You know, fall, fall right to the floor, no to the side or reports it was disintegrate for people survivors till they see a lot of fire inside the building and heard a lot of explosions. Then the 9/11, the police found nanothermite, a kind of explosive for controlled demolitions. So this is strong evidence about how this right to lead demolition. Okay, next question. 3. Were some people forewarned about the attack? Mario, please answer that. Tell us your point of view.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is another pretty controversial question. So, but I would say, yeah. And the United States of America have, as I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, they have a really high level of intelligence agency that some people from the U.S. power, I'm 100% sure that they were warned about these possible attacks. So yeah, it seems it was taken as a minimum risk, or they didn't take that as a serious attack, as a serious threat. So, and the reason why I say that is because they took that as is for something that they shouldn't be worried about it. And once the attack happened, there were later some reports that some people that say that they knew something about it. They already had some information about those possible attacks, but it was too late.
Um, Mario, sound?
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much
Okay.
everything.
Okay, thank you so much, Mario. Now, Rafael, please tell us.
Well, as a personal opinion, I believe that the only people forewarned about the attack were the people part of the government. There are a lot of theories against one of the best president, George Bush, who those theories says that this president had a warning of the attack to the Twin Towers 2 days before. It's possible to say that the government, the FBI, and the CIA did know about the crash of the plane, and every action that was taken by the organization on September 11th.
Okay, thank you so much, Rafael. That's very nice. Now, Judith, I think it's your turn, please.
Okay, according to the I'm sorry. According to the question, I think so, yes. Some commanders were forward about the attacks because some officials, CEA, Chief of Naval, FPA, generals, colonel, defense secretary, president, vice president in general, and many commanders discovered information about the attacks and they found information for suspecting. Also, many people show evidence that something will happen. They should investigate the evidence and demonstrate the things. It could have prevented the big attacks and the death of millions of victims.
Thank you, Judith. Now, Alison, your turn.
Uh, in accord with the video, I say yes. First, because American aviation officials were warned as early as 1998 that Al Qaeda could seek to hijack a commercial jet. Two, MI6 warned to the American intelligence service about a plot to hijack an aircraft and crash them into the buildings. And second, during the incidents, some of the passengers could call to their families and talk about the hijackings.
Okay, thank you, Alison. Um, I guess it's my turn again. So, yes, but for some reason they were not listening, or I don't know, the government, the CM, all of them, they didn't do anything about it because it's obviously it was part of the plan. So, continue with the next question. Paul, was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane? Please, Mario, tell us about it.
Okay. Well, so my answer to this fourth question, I would say not. And that is because there is some evidence that prove that the damage of the structure doesn't match with the shape and the wings of the airplane because it actually doesn't fit at all with the hole that the picture evidence shows. So it seems the crash was caused, yes, not by an airplane, but maybe for another thing, like maybe a missile or something else. Because the evidence is pretty clear. I mean, if you get to see those pictures that the United States government shows to people, I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. It seems there are so many inconsistencies that make people to think different things, and that's actually the reason why I say that no, it was not hit by an airplane.
Okay, Mario, thank you. Rafael, it's your turn. Please tell us.
Well, I have been investigating something, and I can say that based into the video, it's information on different sources. I believe that the Pentagon was hit by the airplane. The proof of it is that after the terrorist attack, the FBI organization found fragments of pieces of an airplane of American Airlines and corpses from passengers identified through DNA. So I can say that the Pentagon was hit by an airplane.
Okay, so you think the airplane really hit the Pentagon, right?
Well, actually, let me add some a little point of view in this question. I'm slightly disagree with Rafael, and the reason why I disagree with him is just because there was a pretty deeply information and investigation, and it actually shows that it's not possible at all that somebody could could travel in an airplane at a really even the supposedly man that was driving that airplane was a person who don't have a really experience at all. And actually, people say he was a Muslim or something like that, but he doesn't have any experience flying these kind of commercial airplanes. So it actually doesn't make any sense at all how somebody can drive an airplane that the way that supposedly they he fly that thing. And the other point of that I say is that there is no way to think that an airplane actually hit the Pentagon, and the reason is because there is no any mark or there is no strong evidence that really tell us that it was hit actually for by an airplane. So that's why I say I slightly disagree, but yeah, that's just normally my point of view. Okay, come on, keep going.
That's an interesting point of view, Mario. I think that it's you have your good arguments about it, so I respect that.
There you go.
Pretty cute. Finally, different point of view, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is hot. Continue. Judith, tell us, please.
Okay. According to the question, I think so. No, the Pentagon really didn't hide by an iPhone. Do that in the videos of the fact play showed an explosives, but we didn't watch any airplanes. Also, professionals demonstrated that the videos were handled and that people could have to use Photoshop. Additionally, the government didn't show all cameras of the fact plays, only disclosed a fragment of a video.
Thank you, Judith. This is a good point of view. The cameras is a thing I really disturbed me. Why were all the cameras off? Okay, next student, Alison, please, your turn.
I say yes. Because the American Airlines Flight 77 hit the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. and the Saudi pilot's name was Hani Salif Hassan Hanjur with Saudi nationality. But on the video, there are a lot of explications about the difficult to practice in the real life, some like that crash. But I think that yes.
Okay, thank you, Alison. Now it's my turn. Well, I have to say no. Uh, the most protected place on Earth was not hit by an airplane because that planet cannot reach that speed, and in the whole, there is not evidence of damage caused by the wings of the plane. In the documentary, they show us an animation of how will be the crash. In the crash, the they're supposed to the wings to the hole a bit bigger or show marks about the wings crash because the plane penetrate to the Cape 3. So this is where what you did say about the cameras. This other thing what disturbed me so much. Why all the cameras were off except one, and that one didn't appear the didn't appear the airplane. We just can see smoke and fire, but no airplane. So someone have to say something or next question.
And yeah, actually, the cameras, all of the cameras of the Pentagon were actually working out, but I would say that the government they don't want to show the real evidence. But yeah, it's quite obvious that all the cameras were working, but they just wanted to show the evidence of just one camera.
Um, okay, question number 5. Could the attacks have been prevented? Let's start with Mario, please.
Mm, okay, so I would say yes, definitely. I would say yes, it could be avoided. And as I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, in I would say the first question or something like that, some members of the United States were notified about some possible attacks, and if they would have really wanted to take some cautions about it, they would have alerted to every single member of the government to try to handle it out. But I don't know, maybe they had a pretty interesting on that incident to then proceed to a war as that's why I say that it's a pretty similar event to the Pearl Harbor. So that's why this title of this documentary is called The New Pearl Harbor. So yeah, definitely could be avoided.
Thank you so much, Mario. Rafael, please tell us what do you think about question. Could the attacks have been prevented?
I think that in that question that a regular person can't prevent an attack, but by the other way, an attack can't be prevented if it's organized by the government. It's impossible. In this case, it was under the control of the US government, and the organizations as FBI, CIA, and the Air Force were under the control of it. So in that case, it was totally impossible to prevent the attack. Principally, if the key of this, the Air Force, was part of this, um, and this organization will be the only one that can stop this attack with their equipment. And the government was trying to convince the people that all that was an attack by the countries of Middle East. That's my personal thing about it.
Thank you so much, Rafael. Now, you have so much good points. I have to say that. Continue, Judith. What do you think?
Okay, I think that is yes, the attacks have been prevented if the government had investigated the evidence and the suspicion of the witness.
Okay, thank you. A little cut question answer, but well, Alison, I guess it's your turn.
And in my opinion, in my point of view, I can say yes because there was a lot of evidence, like I say some questions back, and there was a lot of evidence about a possible Al Qaeda attack since 1998 until 21. It is possible. United States was the world power, so I think that.
Thank you, Alice. Well, um, I say, well, it's my turn. I will say yes, but since it was all planned, they didn't do it and made excuses. I were investigated out of the documental, discovered what the owner of these towers, a old man, a very rich old man, bought that towers weeks ago. Um, Made it and paid out a really expensive insurance, and that insurance covered terrorist attacks. And casually, the 9/11, that old man never wasn't the tower. So this is a reason, but was planned and was not prevented. Also, the all the official commanders that they were promoted, the same official commanders that didn't do anything to prevent. So all was planned. Continue with the next question and the last one, I guess. Yes. No. Was Osama bin Laden really captured and killed? Let's start with Mario.
All right. Well, before to start the question, I would say there were a clear political interest that supported that attack to then proceed to announce to the world who was behind all of those attacks. So it really worked as a perfect excuse to then proceed to attack him. I mean, to attack Osama. But there are many theories out there, and there are so many people out there commenting different things and different versions. So some people say that he actually was really captured and killed by the United States force. But there is a lot of things, and I would say I'm in this position. I'm a kind of I don't believe that that point of view, because why don't the United States forces provide some clear evidence of the, I mean, evidence like the body of Saddam Hussein, of Bin Laden? So yeah, I would say there is no strong evidence that show that he actually was captured and killed. So I don't know, maybe he was killed, but not the way they announced to the world they killed him.
Well, thank you, Mario. Well, a really strong answer. Now, Rafael, please tell us.
Okay. Considering many stories of exagents and the documentary for the development of this activity of the course, I think that Osama bin Laden wasn't captured and killed by the authorities of US. In base to the different witnesses near the place of the attack, the closest theory of Osama's death was that he was shot by US military army in the chest and in his left thigh, but he ran away and took refuge with his family before being captured by the US government. By the other hand, there is no photos of the corpse of Osama, and the supposed real photos are fake. There are in social media and other news, if we can call them like that. The person of those photos looks very different to Osama. You can see it clearly to the face. For example, the person of this image looks like very different. Looks younger than Osama is, and the shape of the head is very different too. So it's possible that he was killed in base to those shots, but not captured.
Thank you, Rafael. Another really strong answer. So continuing with our partner Judith. Come on, girl, tell us.
Okay, I think so, according to the video. Yes, I think that there was a bad man who murdered millions of innocent. He was captured by a big operative from President Obama. I watched a video about it. They devised an operative called Geronimo, where Osama was killed. I don't know, I think so.
Thank you, Judith. Now, Elison, it's your turn, please.
I I say no. Osama bin Laden wasn't be captured. The leader of Al Qaeda only died during a military mission of United States, and he's killed by the United States force in Pakistan.
Okay, thank you. Now my interview. I have to say what there is not enough evidence and the government didn't show the body or almost the real body because if we connect all the evidence with the other answers, we can say it was all planned by the said government. Al Qaeda is an invent of the CIA. I searched much theories. I concur. I have to say that it was all planned by the same government to start a war and get the crude in this place. So it was planned. Now, next question: was the 9/11 caused by an American government on purpose? And yes, this is the last question. So, partner Mario, there is. Can you answer, please?
Yes. Well, actually, as we just mentioned in the beginning of this work, I mean, in the introduction, there is a lot of the conspiracy have been around for centuries. So, and in this case, this specifically case, there is a lot of withheld or hide information that doesn't allow us to know the truth exactly of those facts. So there are so many people out there commenting things such as the bunkers, the people we watching the video controversy in those all of those statements. So, but I would say, yeah, it was totally it was much more than clear that it was a planned attack because one way or another they were interested on a start a war, and that was a perfect excuse to them for them to then proceed to create a war. So I would say we call it, or we can call that incident as a false flag attack, which is something that sometimes might be not real, but it's launched just to blame someone or some other countries in order to proceed to attack them. So yeah, I would say in some part of me, I want to believe that it was a really planned incident for the United States government.
Thank you, Mario. Now, there is a turn of Rafael. Please answer.
Uh, there are lots of evidence that this attack was totally controlled by the US government with the purpose to take advantage of the collapse in the socialistic bloc to reach a dominant position. And other aspects to suspect about was the calm reaction of the ex-president George Bush and the many ways of the government to stop the attack and were not used. So it is very suspicious because, as we mentioned it before, United States has a very good security, a good air force with a very professional equipment, able to stop this kind of attacks, terrorist attacks, or anyway. So it's very suspicious. Uh, the other thing is that this air force just will need 10 minutes to prevent or stop an attack of this type. And two, the government could give the order to evacuate the zone and alert the citizens, but it didn't happen never.
Okay. Thank you, Rafael. Now, like we were doing all the questions, someone have to say something. Rafael, Mario, are you right with Rafael?
Okay, I would say yes. We are totally agree. Almost in five or yeah, 5 or 4 questions. But I totally disagree when he pointed out that the Pentagon was actually hit by an airplane. And as I just told him why was the reason why I don't believe it at all. And yeah, what Rafa actually just mentioned just a couple of seconds ago, he's totally right. Is I mean, I don't can you I don't believe why the United States Air Force, if they already know, if already detecting in all of their radars that there was a possible upcoming attack. I mean, they detected that it was an airplane flying around in the United States sky. They didn't do anything, or at least it seems they don't take the caution necessary to avoid this kind of thing. Because according to U.S. Air Force defenses, they have a mechanism, as Rafa just mentioned. They have 10 minutes maximum to proceed to defend the national, to proceed to defend the people of the country. So another weird thing is that specifically they were having a military exercise in another part of the country. So there were not enough power of intelligence to defend in that moment the area. And yeah, this is a pretty, as I just mentioned, this is a pretty controversial topic. Every one of us have a different perspective in some points, but at the end of the day, we all of us agree that it was a planned event for the United States governments in order to, because behind all of this attack there were some political interests that are pretty clear. So yeah, I don't know. That's my point of view regarding to this topic. It was a really entertaining topic. It was a really good work, and I don't know what you guys think about it.
Well, thanks, Mario. Um, can you add something to the girls and me? You did. You still and Alisa, please.
Okay, I think so. The last question, according to the video, it was chaos by the American government on purpose. I think that it has been prevented because there were many inconsistencies in the report given to the government.
And thank you, Judith. Now, Alison, please.
And I'm agree with you guys. By the events that happened that day, like the government's activity programs until that day, it was as if it everything had been planned for that September 11th. So I think I think that
Yeah, I agree with you, Alison. How the evidence attacked by himself. Um, just, just for airplanes, yeah, wait, aircraft defending that day, just four, and the others were training in another part of the country. The owner of the towers were not in the towers that day. Um, the bad communication about the CIA, some mistakes in the news. Um, yes, it's obviously so. I guess all of us are agree what that was planned by the government. So right?
Yes, at the end of this, we can all say that it was a planet attacked by the United States government. And all the evidence in the documentary and different sources supports the theory.
Well, I guess we finished. So how are we gonna say bye bye?